Bonjour, everyone. Hi, this is Neshi Lokotz. Welcome to Communications from Home, right here at Facebook and our fan page, our main fan page, Star Nations, Organizations, Magazine, Radio Network, and Publishing. Oh my goodness, I just realized we have to update that. So just one of those little details. So welcome. Today is Tuesday, July 15th, and this is my weekly evening show called Communications from Home. I started the show about 2 years ago. We were just coming into using BeLive TV, our partners that help us to do kind of really cool kind of interview shows and that sort of thing. And I wanted to learn how to use this as best I could. So I thought, well, let's start interviewing our contributing writers. And so I called it Communications from Home. And what it has evolved into is sharing with you each month's new issue and all of the highlights and backstory that goes along with that issue. And some of them are really, really smooth and there's not much to talk about. And then there's others, it's like, holy smokes, I'm so glad we made it through that one, right? So tonight, that's what this is all about. I get to share with you some of the first pages of the articles in the July issue of Star Nations magazine, that's issue 74, and share with you some of those articles by our contributing writers, the ones that appear on the cover of the magazine. Yeah, so that's what we're doing tonight. So I'm hoping we're going to have some conversation about the magazine and the articles and the topics. I see Stephanie's in the house. Thank you, Stephanie. She's posted all the really cool stuff about what we've been doing here at Star Nations in the chat. Speaking of which, welcome to those that are watching live in the chat room, and also those who'll be watching the recorded show, the live stream video recorded, which, I don't know how they do this, but Facebook, but it renders like moments after we end the live stream. So thank you for joining us, and for both audiences, it would really, really be nice. I'd appreciate it if you could do the like and the hearts, doing the emoticons, the like and then the hearts. It's really nice. I'm going to take my phone and I am going to find our live stream on the fan page. And what I'm going to do is I am going to send it over to my news feed, my timeline, to remind my friends that I am live streaming. Okay. It's one of the things I know for sure, because I've been doing this for a few years, is that, you think, I'm going to watch that show. I really want to watch that show. And then you get busy. And then you forget about the time sometimes. And you kind of get sidetracked. And so this is what this reminder is for. And we're going to send it over to my newsfeed. It doesn't take long. And if you would like to do the same, I'd appreciate it. Even if you just send it over to one friend, right? That's really good. So I'm just going to let them know that I'm live streaming. And I always ask them, invite them to join us. And we're going to say it in the live chat. And now we're going to put a heart on that. Here we go. Here, sending it over to my friends. Turning down my sound on my phone so it doesn't get all squelchy. Here we go. There. I don't know about you, but it has been warm here where I live in Tomah, Wisconsin. It was 89 degrees today and humid. Holy cow, it was humid. So much so that, George didn't even want to go outside and play. It was like he was laying on a cool floor, that's for sure. So I don't know what it was like by you, but it was hot and humid today. Oh, Linda's here. Hello, Linda. Good to see you here. And thank you. Thank you so much for sharing. We appreciate it. Yeah. Stephanie is saying, heart up the show if you appreciate the content. Yeah, I'm hoping you will, because, our magazine, Star Nations Magazine, is a spiritually based magazine. Our contributing writers are all spiritual teachers, Most of them are also our live stream show hosts. And their show content is all about spirituality. And in their own niche of our little world here at Star Nations, they write and they share about their experience, right? And so the magazine itself it's shared around the world, really. We have readership that goes from Mexico to Canada to the United States, of course, and also, let's see, Japan and Australia and Wales and Ireland, Taiwan, Saudi Arabia, Africa, South Africa. I'm missing a couple. Croatia, France, England. We're international. Yeah, and so our community stretches all around Grandmother Earth, and the magazine and the shows are the thing that connects all of us into Star Nations, and I love it. I really, really do. Now, the magazine, some of you might not know, but back in 2012, I was, maybe it was 2013. No, it was 2013. I was sitting at my dining room table, and at the time I had a business called Sacred Hoop. And and I'd been blogging since 1996 or 7, something like that. And I was looking for a new way to blog. And I didn't know if I wanted to do vlogs, and so I was looking something for my own business. Now, Star Nations had already been created by that point. And I found this digital magazine. Yeah, possibilities, right? And it was one of those moments where, I don't know if you've ever experienced it, but you feel, I call it being thunderstruck. You just know that this is it. You just know it in your bones, right? And so, yeah. So I started down the path. It was one of those synchronicities things. A good friend of mine, she now lives in Colorado, Tammy, she sent me an email and saying, gee, I don't know if you'd be interested in this. It came across in my email and I thought of you. And so she sent it to me, and that it was about digital magazines. And at that time, there weren't that many digital magazines in the way that we do them. And so it was called Magcast. And so I started a partnership with Magcast. I had to learn how to create an app. Yeah, an Apple developer. And it was a few sleepless nights back in 2013 trying to get this going. So it was October of 2013 that we published our very, very first magazine, digital magazine. What makes us unique in the magazine world is the digital portion. Yeah. So inside of the magazine, you're able to click on videos and audios and stay inside the magazine. It doesn't take you to another destination. Okay. And so you can watch it right in the magazine. And you can read the magazine on your tablet or on your smartphone, right? And then along came the print on demand, because so many of you are asking for a print copy. And so I found a partner called Mag Cloud, and they actually help us to provide the print copy. And I have to say that it's a beautiful magazine. Now, I know that I'm partial. I know that. But, we have such pretty pictures that go along with the spiritual content. And the combination of the two, to me, is more than just pleasing. It really helps us to be able to communicate at a soul level with a whole lot of people all at the same time. Right? Yeah. So I'm going to get going on sharing with you the highlights of this issue and the backstory. Oh my gosh. Producing, creating, publishing a magazine when there's so many eclipses going on and Mercury retrograde just getting ready to get started. Let's see, I think Mercury went retrograde, I think it was the 6th or the 7th, right? And we published on the 10th. And so we were in the first energies of the Mercury retrograde as we were preparing this issue. And so that means that our communication was, very interesting. I mean, I would get together an email and it would disappear. I would hit a key and it was gone. And so I had to start all over again. Or I would completely forget to send out an email that would be the reminder for contributing writers to send in their articles to their personal editors for the first round of editing. So things like that, Mercury retrograde, right? We also had technical and app issues with the developer, Apple developer. It was nothing that was going to stop the magazine from being published, but it was I don't know if you guys have done this yet with your Apple account, but we had to do the 2-factor authentication. And so I was telling people, I said, I was wrestling with my Apple developer account for almost 3 days, trying to get this thing to work. It was supposed to be the simplest thing to do. and it wasn't. And on the third day, I'm talking to my spiritual team and I'm saying, listen, guys, we need to get this magazine out there for our readers. And I can't get past this point because they keep asking for the 2-step authentication thing. And I'm doing something wrong and they can't help me. I was like, I was caught in a loop. And even the support desk was going, I don't know, send me a screenshot of that, right? Okay, so I don't know if this has ever happened to you guys, but it's in the middle of the night. And I realized, oh my gosh, this thought came in. Thank you to my team. This thought came in that I have 2 Apple IDs. One that's personal and the other one's the business. And I wasn't using the business ID. I was using something so simple. And so I got up and I got it done, and it didn't take very long to accomplish it. And so I was able to get past that point so we could set up the in-app purchase. And so it was things like that with Mercury retrograde, putting together that, which is a communication piece, right? The magazine is a communication piece. And so I don't know about you guys, but this is what I say during every Mercury retrograde, is that I accept all of the gifts of the Mercury retrograde and I release everything is less than that, right? And I always talk to my team because without them, I don't know if I would have actually put 2 and 2 together with the Apple ID thing. Yeah. Linda's saying, I'm in Appleton, Wisconsin. I agree, hot and humid. I know, you're down in the Fox Valley, huh? Well, we're not that far really from each other. I know we're kind of on the opposite side of the state, but we're in the same state. We used to live over in Caroline, which is between Green Bay and Wittenberg. We used to live in a tiny little town called Caroline, over in your neck of the woods. Stephanie said, I can post the show to the SN. Yay! Woohoo! That's good. Thank you, Stephanie. That's time to celebrate. Salvard? What does that mean? Rob, question mark. Could you imagine living on some place like Jupiter with all the multiple moons with each of all energy of its own? I know. And how do you know that we haven't in some other life or some future life or some parallel life? That's a good one. All that moon energy. Its own. Okay. Yeah, iOS is never simple. No, it's not. But, I've learned a whole lot in the last 5 years. I've learned a whole lot. And it's all good stuff. Even when it was difficult, even when it's difficult, once you get past it and you're on the other side of it and you got that 2020 vision, right? It's still good. It's still good. I would like to show you something. I would like you to show you the cover. Hang on. I'm going to give it a solo here. Take that off. And this is the cover of the July issue. Isn't that gorgeous? I love, love, love this. One of the topics was sunsets. And we have some really beautiful, beautiful pictures of sunsets in this issue. And all of those titles on the magazine cover, we're going to talk a little bit about each one of those tonight. Isn't that gorgeous? Yeah, I believe this is Maui, if I remember right. Gorgeous. All right. So we're going to talk a little bit about this. Now see what I just did here with the cover and me on side by side? That's our partners at Be Like TV. And I'm actually using Studio 2. And I have to say, I'm finally getting the hang of it. Of all times, our partners they're still in beta, but they launched it publicly during Mercury retrograde, just before. Yeah. It's been fun. Okay. Oh, do we have any members from? No, I don't think we do. I don't think we do. One of these days, I'm gonna make a screen print of the countries that both the show and the magazine have access to. Yeah, I know, isn't it gorgeous? I just love that. Like I said, one of the topics was about sunsets, and there were several articles in the magazine about sunsets, or has a sunset in a part of the story, in part of what they're telling you, right? Sharing with you. And there's a couple people who took their own pictures of sunsets and submitted it with their article, and other ones I had to find a sunset for them. But it's really, really pretty. Pretty on the inside, which means it's pretty on the outside, right? All right. We're going to take this down, and we're going to bring up the next picture. All right, we gotta get the album open again. Here we go. And I think I'm going to upload the next 3 or 4. There we go. All right, so the next one, and I have to say, I am so happy and grateful that one of our featured contributing writers, she writes featured articles 4 times a year for us, she did. Her name is Jan Beaver, and she is an Indigenous woman. She's Anishinaabe, which means Ojibwa, and she is from Canada. And she writes her articles from her perspective as an Indigenous woman. And yeah, so it really is, her articles have been very insightful and bringing to us a perspective that not many people from other places around the world would know about, right? And so she, thank goodness, she said yes. I had asked her months and months and months ago if she would write an article about the sacred clown. And what's that, right? The sacred clown is you might have heard it called Heyoka. Sorry, being a little dry. And this one is, I gotta get my notes out, because there's a certain way to pronounce it. I don't know if I didn't write it down. Okay, so it is the Ojibwa version of Heyoka medicine, and it's not a boju, not a boju. It's It's actually a very tall rabbit. And we share that, the Potawatomi, the Ojibwa, and the Ottawa kind of share that spiritual being, that supernatural being, okay, Nanabozo. And he's kind of like a trickster, and he brings life lessons to you, sometimes in a fun way, or it could be that you're not listening and he's kind of the one that does the cosmic 2x4 kind of thing. All right. So she says that that the medicine of the sacred clown has many facets and layers, making us look in the mirror to see all of the ways that we self-sabotage our lives. So the sacred clown actually appears in many, many indigenous places, people. And it's one of those things that kind of connect all of this. So it makes you think, oh yeah, that's just like, right? And some people would actually also compare it to coyote medicine. Yeah. And so that trickster energy. Now this particular picture, Jan and I were searching for something that was copyright free, right? Creative Commons picture. Because Nanabozo is a mythical, some would say, others would say that it's a supernatural being. There's no pictures of it. There's no pictures. And so we have to rely on cave paintings, petroglyphs, and I was just going to say the word. Okay. So Stephanie and Rob help me with this. It's a vocabulary word. I'm having a menopausal moment. It's like petroglyph, but it's actually what this is where they do it with color. So this is like ochre on a cave wall. Shoot. Hopefully they'll come across with it, that word. But anyway, this is a very historic cave painting of Nanabozo up in Canada. Yeah. Linda is saying that never heard of sacred clowns before, so very interesting. Yes, and most of the time, depending on the nation, the indigenous nation, what the sacred clown is like. There's some who literally sometimes they're known as contrary. The contrary, they'll wear their clothes inside out. They'll walk backwards. They'll talk backwards. Yeah. And if you're very somber and very serious, they're going to come over to you to get you to laugh, right? And beyond what they look like on the surface, underneath it, they're holy people. They're holy men and holy women, meaning that they were trained and grew up in the medicine way. Okay. And so that's why they're called sacred clowns. Yeah. Now, I have to thank Jan because there's certain times of the year, traditionally, you're not supposed to talk about and tell their stories. And the story time is in the winter time. Okay. Supposedly when these supernatural beings are asleep. But she told the story. And at the end, she says, and now we'll see. Nanabozo comes to me because I was talking about him in the opposite time of the year. Yeah. So I have a lot of respect for Jan, and she is one of my favorite people. And Jan is no longer going to be writing for us. Why? Because she's a new grandma. She's a new grandma. She's a new Nokomis, that's Potawatomi for grandmother. And so she wants to spend time with her grandchildren, twins. And she's also starting a new project. And so she had to, where am I going to place my energy, kind of thing. And so she asked to be put on hiatus for a while to see how things kind of pan out in her life. and there's always a strong possibility that she'll be back. But for right now, this will be her last article with us. And so if you have never read Jan's articles, you're in for a treat. You're in for a treat because she was also a teacher, yeah, at one time. And she also writes for Scholastic something in Canada. Yeah, so it's a good one. It's one of my favorite articles that she's written. All right, so the next up, I'm taking that one down. The next up is this one. I'm going to give it a solo here so you can really see it. This is Ed Langdon. He's one of our live stream show hosts. His name is Ed Langdon, and the name of his show is Life Wisdom with Ed Langdon, and it is also the name of his column in Star Nations magazine. Ed also writes for us quarterly as a featured writer, and in this quarter, he's writing about manifesting, and he shares about the 2 mistakes almost everybody makes when they're manifesting. Yeah. And so, if you want to know what the 2 mistakes are, you're going to have to read his article. He is very direct about it. And so, it's a possibility you will recognize yourself in what to avoid. Ed is a law of attraction expert. And he started writing for us, I think it was in January. And he says that, have you ever said this to yourself or out loud? I've tried manifesting and the law of attraction stuff, and it doesn't work. Ed tells us about the law of attraction and the mistakes we could be making. This article literally is a paradigm shifting article. It's one of those times, and it did for me, it's one of those times where you go, oh my gosh, that's right. I completely forgot about that, or I didn't know that. It's one of those articles. The light bulb moment, the light bulb moment. Yeah. If you've never experienced Ed's show, it's on the second Thursday at 4 p.m. Eastern time. And he does tapping. He really helps us to remove the blocks and barriers to our manifesting, and he teaches along the way. And so he does. If you really want to learn how to be very conscious about your manifesting, yeah, check Ed out. All right. Okay. I just put on headphones and missed the question. I didn't ask a question. If it's about Ed, it's have you ever made this statement to yourself or out loud? I've tried manifesting and the law of attraction stuff, and it doesn't work. Have you ever said that to yourself or out loud? Because chances are you have, especially if you've never consciously thought about manifesting. Yeah. So Bob is saying, I've always known them as cave paintings. Yeah, there's 2 words. There's petroglyph. Actually, there's 3. Hieroglyph, petroglyph, and rats. Watch, it'll come to me at 2 o'clock in the morning. Yeah. It's actually a pretty good Scrabble word, too. Rob says, also the stream stops dropping. I'm trying to type with finger picks on. Oh, well, that could be a little rough, typing with finger picks on. I don't know why it's dropping. The studio looks fine. So is anybody else having problems with that? Cave paintings, aka periodal art. Yeah, that's true. That's what it is called. But there's another word. I'm going to watch. Like I said, 2 o'clock in the morning, it's going to pop in. It's going to say, that's what it is. All right. So Ed Lingen, yeah, it's a good article. I liked it a lot. I get to see the articles and touch the articles multiple times. So by the time the magazine comes out, I've had my hands, my eyes on them at least 4 to 5 times. Oh my goodness. This one. Oh my gosh. Okay. So one of the other topics in the magazine was about loyalty. And this is Leslie Serenisi. I say your name right. Leslie Serenisi. She is an animal communicator and she writes for us under the column Communicating with Sacred Animals. And Leslie, she is such a sweetheart. She really is. I'm going to give that a solo here. What she writes about is one of her pups, one of her dogs, Luna, and she has shared with us about Luna a few times. Luna is an adopted pup, rescued, and Luna was very ill when she came to Leslie and her husband, and it took a while to help Luna heal, and to get healthy again and to get strong. Now you can only imagine when you are literally tending to heart with another being and helping them to survive. There's a bond that forms, right? And that's what happened. And so Leslie is sharing about loyal to a fault. In other words, Luna is so attached to her that until Leslie gets up, she won't eat. She won't go out to go to the bathroom. She has to, if Leslie's in the house, Luna is right there next to her. And some would say it's separation anxiety. That's not it. It's not it. It's just that there's such devotion there and such loyalty to Leslie. And Leslie talks to her all the time and can hear Luna talk back to her, and they have conversations. They have, yeah, it's a really deep relationship. And Leslie shared that with us. And Leslie has the best sense of humor. And so you're reading along and you're kind of going, because it's such a emotional, heart string pulling article, and then she'll write something about that just makes you laugh. So if you ever had this experience, you might enjoy this article. If you haven't had this kind of experience, or you don't, you just like to read heart touching articles, this one will make your heart melt and make you laugh. Leslie Serenisi. She's going to be back here in Star Nations Academy, hopefully in the spring sometime. We haven't ironed out the dates, but she's going to be teaching her Animal Communication 101 here in person. Yay! In person at the Academy in the spring. Can't wait for that. Okay, we're going to upload a couple more pictures here for you guys. Let me take those down. Just a couple more. All right. Got to get the ones that I haven't talked about yet. We have on the average 16 to 17 articles per month. It's a lot, isn't it? Yeah, it is. And they're all written from a loving place. All of our contributing writers, what they're sharing with you is their experiences, their wisdom that they gain from those experiences, and it's coming to you from their hearts. And I think that's why articles like Leslie's really touch us. And yeah, Sharon Rosenblum. She is one of my best friends. She's one of my sisters, but she is also our editor. And she edits, I would say, about half to 3/4 of the articles, and she'll always tell me, grab the Kleenex box. You're going to need it for this one. So, all right, here we go. This is a very interesting article. This is an article by Ortrun Franklin. It's called Journey to Personal Freedom. And one of the topics for this issue was about liberty. Okay. And Orchun, under her column, The Mystery School, shares with us about our soul growth. Okay? I want to read to you what she, from her own, where is it? I know it's here. It must be on the first page. Oh, here it is. I was looking right at it. Okay, so she says that actually what I said is she's really outdone herself in this particular article. She says she shared with us a way to understand how we came into this physical world as a descended being, and then how we begin our journey returning to our spirit selves in the ascension process. So it was a fascinating article, and it was also one of those times where you remember from your soul level, right? Being a descended being coming down into the earth plane from a spiritual plane of existence, another realm, and having to step down our energy and step down our vibration in order to be able to be here in a physical form. That's what it means to descend, right? And then once we do that and we come into the physical body, whether it's through birth or through as a walk-in, that we then begin our journey in returning home and back to spirit, back into a spirit. And in this article, Orchun explains that. Yeah. I can understand why she is known as a mystery school teacher, because this one is really, really good. That's it, Rob. Thank you so much. It's a pictogram. Thank you so much. I knew as soon as I saw the word, I'd say, yep, that's it. Thank you, Rob. Now I can let that one go. I can let it go. Thank you for looking it up. I appreciate it. Okay, so in this particular article, I have to tell you that finding a picture to go with this article, it took me a while because I wanted it to convey a certain feeling, right? And in this one, in this particular picture, the first time I looked at it, I thought, I wonder if what it looks like from our spiritual guide's point of view when we're coming into this physical existence here on Earth. And they're with us and they're kind of walking behind us as we're entering, right? Yeah. As we're working our way back into spirit, right? Raising our vibration. I liked it a lot. I do. I hope you guys enjoyed this one. And if you have any questions for Orchun after you read her article, she's more than happy to answer any of your questions when you contact her. You can contact her through their website, ourspiritualascension.com, or you can messenger her here at Facebook. Or you can get to her through our show fan page, which is Living in Two Worlds. Okay? All right. Stephanie, if you're in the house still, could you put up the short links for the magazine for Google and Android? That's Android, and Apple, and also MagCloud, please. I'd appreciate that. Okay, so I don't know which one to do next because they're both so good. All right, we're going to take this one down, and this is Eddie Mullen's article. The name of his column is Wisdom Keeper's Path. Don't you just like that one? Wisdom Keeper's Path. And he wrote about forest bathing, the path to being. And much of what he shared about was his experience, his very first experiences with forest bathing. Now, we do have a resident expert in this, and that's Minnie Kansman. But what Eddie wrote about in his article was so insightful to his experience. He says that forest bathing is a great experience and tool for sensitives, empathic people. He draws on his own experience to convey this unique perspective of forest bathing. And he actually shares part of his early childhood, right? His early childhood. Because he's actually from Wisconsin. I don't know if you guys knew that. Eddie is actually from Wisconsin. He was born here. Moved when he was old enough to go out on his own. But what he wrote about was how he connected to nature to make it through his childhood years and his teen years, his early 20s. Nature. He spent a lot of time out in the woods and hiking and connecting out there because he's a sensitive and he's also empathic. And so he didn't see it as a gift at that time, right? And so nature helped him through it. And he's very grateful for it. And I felt like he was telling us about his freedom, right? His liberty as an empath and as a sensitive. And because he made it through that and has such a unique connection to nature, I thought this would be a really good article for those who are also empathic and sensitives and have just maybe realized that is a term. And so this is a way to be helpful in understanding yourself through Eddie's experience. Right? And Eddie's been writing for us for a long time. He took a little bit of a break and then came back. And so I think he's been writing for us for like 4 years, something like that. All right. Oh my gosh, Kimberly's here. Hello, Kimberly. She says, lovely to tune in tonight. Very interesting chat. Thank you, Kimberly. I so appreciate it. And just love to have you in the chat. It's always good to see you there. All right. So that is Eddie's article. Don't you love the name of his column? Wisdom Keeper's Path. Yeah, I like it. All right. So the next one. Let's see. We have to remove one. What did I do? Rats. I have to get the the picture up again. I don't know what happened to it. Do this one. Oops. Yeah, I think I accidentally deleted that one. I'll have to bring it back up. All right. So this next one is Minnie Kansman's article. Now, Minnie and I, we have been close friends for a lot of years. I think we're going on 10, 15 years, I think, something like that. And she's one of my sisters. And she writes under the column Nature Adventures. And it's also the name of her live stream show, which I am a co-host of, Nature Adventures. And she recently moved from Michigan to Colorado. And in this article, she shared about her move to Colorado. She calls it Colorado Manifesting. Colorado Manifesting. And she shares with us about how she and her husband, Rain, had been wishing and dreaming about moving to Colorado for decades. And it was a dream that they never let go of. And so she tells us the journey that they took with that and how it unfolded so quickly for them when the divine timing was here. Yeah, and I tell you what, she takes some really good photographs. They're beautiful images. And I wanted to share this one with you guys and put it on the cover because so many people here in Star Nations community know Minnie, and so I wanted to share this with you all through the magazine, so that you can see some of the pictures that she has used. Now, the main picture that was laid out for her, the top picture there, is of a lake that is really close to where they now live, and that she gets to walk to just about every day. Right. And so now she's got a whole different way of relating to nature there, because it's different than Michigan, right? And so she's learning the relatives out in Colorado in nature. Yeah. Let's see. I want to read a little bit about that too. Here, she says, well, I said that this is an incredible story about manifesting at its finest. Minnie shares about her and her husband's manifesting their new home in Colorado, and Minnie's photos of their new home are worth 1,000 words. It's a grand example of manifesting and working with the law of attraction. Yeah, it's a good one. Yeah, we can all learn a little something about how they did the manifesting for their move. Okay, gorgeous pictures. All right, here is, this is the one part of the magazine that it's fun. I love picking out the image for the cover and also the back cover. Yeah, we always put an astronomy picture on the back cover with a quote from Star Nations, which is an indigenous nation, right? Yeah. And so this particular one it says, to walk the red road. Oh, we misspelled that. We're supposed to change that. Rats. It's supposed to be red, not red. It's supposed to be RED. Road is to live a balanced life and to honor the laws of both worlds, the physical and the spiritual. It's a Native American proverb. Yeah. To walk the red road is to live a balanced life and to honor the laws of both worlds, the physical and the spiritual. And we also include highlights for the upcoming issue for August. We're going to be featuring artist appreciation, legacy, humankind, angels, friendship, and grounding crystals. Yeah, Mervyn Kelly is actually going to write a featured article about grounding crystals. So, yeah, and it's so much fun to pick out a really beautiful astronomy picture to go along with the quote. I'm going to have to change that, edit that. We caught it in the magazine. But not in the promotional stuff, rats. We'll get that fixed, though. It's an easy fix. All right. Let's see. Gonna make some room here and bring the cover back up. There we go. All right. So, thank you, Stephanie. She put in the links to the magazine and where to purchase them, because I'd like to encourage you to purchase your copy of the magazine, Star Nations magazine, the July issue. There's so much. There's many people who have contacted us, have said that the magazine is entertaining, but it's all more than that. That many people keep it as a reference guide, right? Because we have some of our writers write about ceremony and share with you about how to create a certain ceremony. We have articles about ascension, and we have meditations in there. Orchud always includes in her articles a guided meditation or a recorded show about the topic that she's writing on. Yeah. And so a lot of people call it a reference. Yeah. It's entertaining, but it's also a reference. It's a nice way to learn. You know, one of the reasons why I love the magazine so much for me is, yes, it's reading about the wisdom coming from our contributing writers. But for me, it's in the creation process. It's in the creation process that I'm co-creating. I'm co-creating with spirit. I'm also co-creating with the contributing writers and also our partners at MagCloud and MagCast and Alpha Elm, our layout specialists, and our editor, Sharon. There's a whole lot of people who help with this magazine. The call them editors, the people who read the nearly done magazine with fresh eyes. They haven't seen it, and so they can go through the magazine and do some edits, that things that we are looking right at and we can't see anymore, like the word red, R-E-A-D, should be R-E-D, that kind of stuff. And so there's a lot of people who come together to create this beautiful magazine. Yeah. And I'm so grateful to the contributing writers and how much they share with all of you from their hearts and from their experience. Yeah. So, as I described before, is that the magazine is available in digital form for your tablet or your smartphone. It's also available in a PDF. Now that means that you can purchase the magazine and open it up on any one of your devices because it's a PDF. It can travel with you. You can actually even print it out as a PDF. There's over 60 pages. I don't know if you want to print out 60 pages worth of something, but you could do that. There's recipes in there as well. And so if you find that there's a recipe that you'd like, you can always print it out, and there you have it, right? Sharon also writes for us under the column Nourishing Body and Soul. And every month she includes one of her favorite recipes. And many, many times she includes the gluten-free version of that because she actually bakes gluten-free. And so she'll include that for all of us that are staying away from gluten, right? All right, so the PDF version. And there's also a web version, a web viewer version. That's hard to say, a web viewer version. And you know what that is? That means that you don't necessarily even care to have it on your hard drive because it's out there in the cloud. You can get it anywhere, anytime, on any one of your devices, as long as you can have access to your cloud storage space. Yeah. And so they read it on whatever device that they're doing, whether it's laptop, desktop, or a mobile device. Isn't that cool? A lot of people do that. I'm surprised at how many people actually do that. And then there's the old-fashioned, the old school, which is the print on demand. Now, the print on demand means that we're not printing out magazines that aren't going to be read, aren't going to be used, right? Yeah. So it does take a little bit longer. It takes about 7 to 10 days to get your magazine. But let me tell you, because we're working with nature on this, it's nice to be able to purchase a print magazine where we're not wasteful. Yeah. And so you can always read. If you're one of those people who like to have it in your hands and turn the pages, yeah, we have that for you too. And I have to say that the print magazine, the pictures are just as pretty and beautiful in the print magazine as they are in the digital. Yeah, pretty cool. And I see that Stephanie has the links in the comments and how you can go directly to one of our partners to be able to order your magazine. Yeah. And now we're going to be doing something a little fun here. I didn't announce this. I should have at the very beginning. I forgot. Is that we're going to give away a July issue, a current issue of the magazine. Yeah. We're going to do a print copy to give away. Right? Okay. And I'm scrolling through so that we can randomly check, and we are going to stop. And we're stopping on Linda Jensen. I hope I pronounced your last name right. Linda Jensen. We're going to send you a free copy of Star Nations Magazine July issue. Okay, so if you could do me a favor and send me a private message in Messenger with your postal address, and we will get your magazine sent directly to you from Magcast. I'm sorry, MagCloud. MagCloud. There's too many Mag stuff. MagCloud, and so you'll get it directly from them. Okay, so I just need your mailing address. We'll get that sent out to you. Very good. She's saying, "Wow, thank you. You're welcome. You're very welcome." Like I said, I just love doing the magazine, creating it. It's one of the highlights of my month, and it fits me so well because I love starting new projects. Because there's so much energy and adrenaline flow at the beginning of a new project, right? And there is the sense of completion when you're finished and you're publishing on the 10th of every month. On the 10th day, we publish. And so we have a distinct beginning and distinct end for each issue. And I find that very enjoyable, and it just feels so good to be able to provide another venue for our writers and our live stream show hosts and our spiritual teachers to have another way to express their gifts and to share it with all of you. So, yay. And thank you, Stephanie, for putting all of those links and posts in for me. I appreciate it. Get rid of that one. Okay, I'm gonna do that. There we go. Now, thank you for being with me this evening, or from wherever you're at around the world. I appreciate it. I appreciate the time that you take to attend any one of Star Nation's shows, but particularly this one tonight, because I get to share with you one of my loves, which is the Star Nations magazine. So, we have so much going on here at Star Nation. Sometimes it's hard to fit it all in to share with you guys. And so you might even like to go over and visit our website and get caught up on all the other things that we have going on. And we're going to be starting something very new. And I've been talking about it for almost a year, and we're finally being able to do it. And that is, we are going to start offering online classes through Star Nations Academy. And we're going to be starting that in October. I met with both of my executive team members over the weekend to get some things ironed out with it, and so we can start moving forward with it. And so you're going to be seeing pretty soon, you're going to be seeing some of the promotions for it, and I would love for you to be able to join us for any one of the classes we're going to be offering through the online Star Nations Academy. We're going to be fitting in at least 2, maybe 3 classes yet this year, and then we're going to be lining up the 2020 schedule. Yeah, I know. Polly Jo was talking about online classes during her show, and he was like, "Holy smokes, we're going to be able to take some of Polly Jo's energy medicine classes online." So isn't that cool? Yay! So you'll be getting more information about that. Yeah, you're right, Linda. It's great online classes because, we have a community all around the world. And so sometimes it's difficult to come to a class in person. We understand that. And the way that the structure is to be able to still do the free mini classes at the Star Nations Academy closed group here at Facebook, so that you can see and get to know some of the teachers, right? So they'll teach a mini class. It's like an introduction level. And then the online classes will go into information that is good for online delivery, right? And some people, they'd be fine just with that. And then when we do the in-person classes here at Star Nations Academy, where I'm sitting, then you actually get to do hands-on application and attend some of those healing days that we do, the healing weekends that we do in person. So yeah, it's all good stuff, especially for those in Svalbard. Oh my gosh. Online classes makes life much easier. And well, it does. I think it does. Okay. So thank you so much for being with me this evening. And we will be seeing you next week for Communications from Home. I don't know what I'm going to be talking about yet next week, but we'll come up with something pretty good, I'm sure. Spirit hasn't let me down yet, so we'll see. You guys will see the promotions on it, hopefully within the next day or two. Okay, so Bama Mina, that's Potawatomi for until we see each other again. Love you guys.